They keep trying to gaslight black people. We know who they are, bro. We know who they is, bro. Video by Jew Almighty, man. Some shit happened with Michael B. Jordan and another guy. They got called the hard R on live. So yeah, this is crazy, bro. Let's just get into
Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, two talented, successful, highly respected black actors, were subjected to the indignity of being called an N-word, hard R, live on stage while presenting at the BAFTA Award.
The first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
Of course they were offended, shocked, and probably taken aback. They stayed composed, professional, and continued presenting. Even though they shouldn't have had to. They shouldn't have been put in that position in the first place.
That clip of Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo getting called the hard R by a man with Tourette's as they're presenting an award is mind-boggling to me. The entire internet just saw these two black men who were just trying to do their job and present an award get called a slur in front of an entire audience.
But to make matters worse, BAFTA and BBC chose to air that racist and embarrassing moment, even though they had hours to edit it out, just like they did other things they didn't want aired.
If the vocal tick that had taken place at the BAFTAs had been Free Palestine, would that have been edited out? Because we know that it was edited out, Free Palestine, when Akinola Davis Jr. said it during his speech. But then for some reason, the N-word being hurled at Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, that was left in.
But with all of that happening, you would at least expect a real, genuine apology from the host of the awards, BAFTA itself, BBC, somebody. Instead, we got sorry if you're offended apologies.
Tourette's syndrome is a disability and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
And a repeated call for grace, empathy, and
If I was offended, huh? If I was offended. That's crazy, bro. Nigga said, I apologize if you were offended. This nigga has to be racist, bro.
The disability and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
And a repeat.
We apologize if you were offended, but we gonna leave the shit in because we actually don't give a fuck. That's what he should have said, bro. That's literally what he should have said, bro.
It called for grace, empathy, and understanding for John Davison, who is an activist for Tourette's syndrome awareness. They didn't extend the same empathy and understanding of how hurtful and offensive that incident was for Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo, or the black community as a whole.
The worst part about this is that all of you are ignoring the feelings of the black people and saying, oh, you just have to accept it because this man has Tourette's. I said in my last video, you can't control the tics. You can't control having a disorder, but he should definitely apologize.
But I'm Jew, welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate.
That was clear as day. No hiding it, no ducking it. It can't be overstated how devastating that moment was for Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, who were the first presenters of the night. Look at their faces. They deserve applause for being able to keep their composure and keep the presentation going. This is two great black actors, probably at the height of their careers, riding off the success of Sinners, which is really an achievement for black people in cinema, being called a hard R and have to stand there and take it in front of their peers. There's no embarrassment or humiliation equivalent that a white person could feel in that moment. Not to mention black people in the audience, the black community as a whole, having to be subjected to that and watch them go through that moment. The way Michael B. Jordan froze after that. Right. In a moment like that from BAFTA, you would be expecting an immediate acknowledgement and apology for how uncomfortable two black film stars were made because of a slur. Doesn't matter who said it. But instead, what we got from the host of the ceremony, Alan Cummings, was an I'm sorry if you're offended apology.
You may have heard some strong and offensive language tonight. If you've seen the film I Swear, you will know that film is about the experience of a person with Tourette's syndrome. Tourette's syndrome is a disability and the tics you've heard tonight are involuntary, which means the person who has Tourette's syndrome has no control over their language. We apologise if you were offended.
Apologize if you were offended ain't enough. We are offended. The black community is offended. The black men who were standing up there presenting with dignity are offended, were embarrassed and humiliated by that incident. I'm sorry if you're offended one-sided apology is not enough. It should have been to the gentleman up there. I extend my fullest, genuine apology for BAFTA and the incident that happened. Something. Not I'm sorry if you're offended. When two black famous actors, damn near icons, are called the N-word, hard R, live in front of the full audience, their peers, and was aired. And Alan Cummings' handling of that situation was a sign of things to come. Because from that moment on, BAFTA and everybody else not black basically took the side of John Davison, who has Tourette's, and a more severe version of it with the tic that forces him to say offensive things called coprolalia, which causes involuntary, uncontrollable outbursts of obscene, taboo, or socially inappropriate words or phrases most commonly associated with Tourette syndrome. And apparently it's really rare, like only 10% of people that even have Tourette's have coprolalia. And while you can understand that that's a disability, it does not excuse the racism or the words that came out of his mouth or the impact it caused people.
This BAFTA situation with John Davidson and Tourette's has been very eye-opening. My comment section on my last video was a slew of white people telling me that I need to educate myself on Tourette's. It's not that big of a deal. You guys don't know what you're talking about. And I say to you, you are some of the most delusional people known to man. When black people are explaining to you our very valid feelings of racism, disrespect, and stripping us away from our dignity and humaneness, you should listen. One person who has a condition, who lives with a condition that is Tourette's, that is very real, doesn't get to gain his dignity at the cost of two other black men. Hannah Beekler, who was a set production designer on Sinners, let us know that he used that word more than once. He said it 3 different times to 4 different black people. Worst part about this is that all of you are ignoring the feelings of the black people and saying, oh, you just have to accept it because this man has Tourette's. I said in my—
Bro, why are we not talking about the actual shit going on? Like the actual, like, the point. Alright, bro, I'm gonna do it, bro. Since nobody else is going to. I'm gonna say what nobody else is going to say. Where the fuck did he learn how to say a hard R? Who taught him that shit? Come on, bro. Does that person also have syndrome or fucking a disability? No. I'm willing to bet. The person that he learned those words from, the reason why he always identifies a black man as the hard R is because of the people he's around, bro. So don't tell me like he's disabled. A disabled person isn't born racist, bro. That's something you are taught. That's something that you learn. So somebody taught him that shit. I don't give a fuck if it was harmless or not, nigga. Somebody taught him how to be racist and he going around being racist. So somebody need to unteach that nigga. The fuck? He can't control what he says. Nigga, control what you say around the nigga and he wouldn't be going around saying it then. Oh my God, bro. And nobody even talking about that shit like, oh my God, he just randomly said the N-word. He imagined the word, the hard R word. He imagined it in his head and just said it. No, bro, somebody taught him that shit. Who doesn't have a disability. Come on, bro. Some racist white guy. He probably grew up racist. He know what being racist is, and he knows how to say sorry. The fuck? I bet he does, bro. Nah, bro. I don't give a fuck what disability he got, bro. I don't care. Like, he's racist, bro. The fuck? His family racist, and he's racist. This nigga's weird, bro. Somebody taught him that shit, bro.
My last video, you can't control the tics. You can't control having a disorder, but he should definitely apologize. And we're not asking for him to apologize because of his disability that he lives with, because he can't control that. He needs to—
Bro, we ain't asking him. We know that, bro. We ain't asking him to apologize because of his disability, bro. That's obvious as fuck. Come on, bro. You know why we asking a nigga to apologize. Anybody who disagrees with that is racist too.
apologize for the harm that his actions caused on national TV.
But instead of these men ever just getting a genuine apology from BAFTA, from John Davison, from anybody, they were told, and we were all told, that we can't be offended. We need to understand the situation. We need to show empathy and grace without that ever being extended to those men and how they felt standing on stage being called the N-word. To the point that Delroy Lindo said nobody from BAFTA even came to speak with him afterwards. Then it was kind of announced that sometime after that, John Davison actually left the award. But it doesn't change anything, especially after we learned that BAFTA and BBC had time to edit out that whole incident, the N-word being aired with these men on stage, and they chose not to. BAFTA and the BBC failed Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo, the Tourette's community, and viewers when they allowed the N-word to be aired during the BAFTA Film Awards ceremony. With the tape delay, this moment could have been handled differently. The audio could have been muted in the broadcast, or just the word beeped out, something, anything. The segment could have been edited. Instead, the slur went out. There was absolutely no reason for BBC to not edit that out when they had been editing out other stuff all night before it aired. With
bro,
the
that
2-hour
shit
delay, the
crazy,
BBC
bro.
could have removed the N-word slur from its BAFTA coverage and chose not to. Meanwhile, it cut director Akinola Davies Jr. saying free Palestine, a clear editorial decision driven by fear of pro-Israel lobby groups. Shame on them.
So those watching at home, archive your loved ones, archive your stories, yesterday, today, and forever. For Nigeria, for London, the Congo, Sudan, free Palestine.
So removing free Palestine to them is more urgent and important than removing the N-word being yelled at 2 black men on stage.
If the vocal tick that had taken place at the BAFTAs had been free Palestine,
So that's obvious enough. The people that's behind the shit, that makes you think like that was on purpose, bro. Like literally, bro. Like that shit was said on purpose. If they're not gonna edit it out and they're gonna keep it in, but they would take out free Palestine, bro, it's obviously somebody behind this shit, bro. Somebody's obviously behind this. Why would a disabled person just walk into a room, wait for the perfect time to say the hard R and just say it at the perfect time, bro? That's not coincidence, bro. Somebody told him to do that shit. If it's not his fault, then somebody else is at fault who told him to do it. Obviously, bro.
would that have been
Nah, bro. It's something deeper going on here, bro. They did that on purpose, bro. Cause you know, like people years from now gonna see that shit and be like, damn. So racism still going on around this time? Yep.
edited out? Because we know that it was edited out, Free Palestine, when Akinola Davis Jr., my G, said it during his speech. That was edited out by the BBC because the ceremony took place and wasn't aired until 2 hours later. But then for some reason, the N-word being hurled at Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, that was left in. A disability is a disability. My thing is, there was a lack of safeguarding from the organisers, from the BBC who were broadcasting it, and from BAFTA as a whole. There is an issue here, and the way that I would say white institutions decide and prioritize what is harm and what isn't. Whether it was intentional or not for the word to be said, it doesn't change the impact that it has on those who it was said to, directed at, and those who had to hear it. Racism, one of the mechanics of it is humiliation. I can't speak for the two men who experienced that, but I would argue that it's humiliating. And then essentially people are doing all of this mental...
Bro, that shit is humiliating as fuck. Nigga, let me be getting an award on stage and somebody from the back of the crowd yell out the hard R while the whole room is silent, bro. Nigga, I'm gonna be fucking flabbergasted, bro. Like, what the fuck? You can really sue. Nah, you can't sue. Can't you sue? Bro, that's some fucked up shit. I ain't gonna lie. Cause they left it in, bro. That's the fucked up part. They left it in, bro. They left that shit in. That's fucked up. I can't
gymnastics to be like, well, nothing we can do. These things just happen. They're involuntary. Whilst I understand that, that does not diminish the impact of who, those who are experiencing it. And this is just a microcosm of what Black people generally face in society anyway. And I would like for the American Black History Month that we're currently in, some of you need to stop explaining to Black people how they get to feel about things that are only directed towards them in that moment.
There absolutely is no explanation for it. If they had time to edit out Free Palestine, they had time to edit out N-word hard R, and they chose not to because they do not care. And they didn't care how that event and incident affected the Black men on stage or the Black community as a whole. Because even in their statements afterwards, they were asking for grace and understanding for John Davidson, and not the black men that experienced racism, were humiliated on stage and had to carry on.
The thing you should know about this moment is that the BAFTAs were not streamed live, so they saw this happen in real time. Then when they edited together their broadcast, they decided to leave this in, not remove that moment or bleep it out or edit it. They chose to just show you this as it happened, and you should ask yourself, why is that? How they actually put together the broadcast is laid out in this article right here, because they were very concerned about political speech and the potential for people saying things they didn't like. As stated here, the BAFTA Film Awards are not broadcast live, meaning the BBC must edit a 3-hour show into a 2-hour broadcast window. The details are laid out here. Now, one of the things that was cut was the end of the speech from Akinola Davies Jr. Let me clearly say, fuck the BAFTAs. They did not care about John Davidson, did not care about Delroy Lindo, did not care about Michael B. Jordan. See them leaving this in as an insidious choice towards all parties involved. The question we all have to ask ourselves about all of this is why.
I think that's a really good point. BAFTA, BBC, put all communities in.
There's just a lot of ways you can articulate this shit. It could be a distraction. It could be just them trying to like be racist, bro. I don't know, bro. It could be a lot of things.
Involved in a horrible spot. The discourse online, the justifications, the goalpost movement isn't even surprising anymore. We saw people jump online and defend Donald Trump, posting the Obamas as apes. We literally saw them defend that and say it wasn't racist and it was taken out of context, and them trying to gaslight the black community as if we don't have a right to be offended. Why are people offended on behalf of people who were in the room, who knew him, who were told he had uncontrollable tics and could yell out uncomfortable things? He just made all of those things up. Most people in the room did not know John Davidson.
And nigga said on behalf. I don't know if you heard or you just kind of stupid, but the hard R is a generalized word. So like basically the hard R, it doesn't just, it's not towards one person. It's towards a whole race of black people. I don't know if you ever heard of that or not, but the hard R is towards a whole race of black people, not just one person, not just two people. A whole race. So when you say the hard R, you're talking about every black person that exists, bro. That's literally what you're talking about. You're talking about why are people offended on behalf of people? No, ain't on behalf of nobody. We offended on behalf of ourselves, nigga. You racist bitch. God damn, this racist ass this app, bro. Twitter full of racists, bro. This is where the racists can like be themselves and shit, and not show their faces and shit. It's weird.
Presenters weren't actually warned about John Davidson or the outburst, the tics that could happen until a few minutes before the event even began. So even if they didn't want to be subjected to that or were worried about what could come out on stage, it was too late for them to back out. Not like Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were thinking, going on stage and presenting an award, there's a chance that I'm going to be called an N-word with a hard R while I'm talking. Who would think that? Michael B. Jordan is not a child. Black people are not children. There are black people with Tourette's. What is this deranged discourse? People being mad at the N-word being yelled while two black men are presenting and then aired by the network later, unedited out. That's black people, rightfully so, being offended by what happened for those men on stage and for the black community as a whole. And you're not gonna gaslight anybody into not having feelings or an opinion. The BBC should have edited the tick so that it would not be broadcast. But no one in that room needs an apology from John. The fact that somebody can say that is insane. Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo definitely deserved a direct, genuine apology from BAFTA, from BBC, and from John Davidson.
That clip of Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo getting called the hard R by a man with Tourette's as they're presenting an award is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling, number one, because they were able to keep their composure so well. I don't think most people would have been able to do that in that situation. And number two, because of the conversation people are having right now. Because before people even had a chance to digest what happened, I've seen people run to this guy's defense saying, oh, that's just how the condition is. They can control what they say. You know, they're not trying to offend anyone. And that could be true. And what's also true is that the entire internet just saw these.
They're not trying to offend anyone. They can't control what they say. Where did he hear it? Where did he hear the offending word that he was not trying to offend other people with? Where did he learn the word? The offending word. Where did he learn the offending word that he was not trying to offend people with? Where did he learn that shit? I don't get it. Don't make sense. if he was taught, like the only reason like you knew to call a black person the hard R is because you know that it's offensive, bro. That's literally it. He goes around calling people the hard R without trying to offend them. No, who taught him this shit? It's what we should be really talking about. Who's this nigga's guardian?
Two black men who were just trying to do their job and present an award get called a slur in front of an entire audience.
Why isn't he not banned? That should be a bannable word. You shouldn't be allowed to go to this event anymore with other black celebrities on stage. You shouldn't be allowed to, bro. Maybe I'm tripping. That's crazy.
I find it very funny that in all of the statements surrounding this situation, all of the understanding that people are seeking from, they're all saying, oh, we're so glad that the audience has understanding. We're so glad that the audience was able to, you know, deal with this. And not the two people that were actually called slurs.
And Jemele Hill actually experienced her own gaslighting when she spoke on this situation, asking for more grace from the person who shouted a racist slur instead of Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo, who had to push through being embarrassed in front of their peers. But that's often the expectation that black people are just supposed to be okay with being disrespected and dehumanized so other people don't feel bad. We always have to be the ones in control, acting dignified, even when black people are the ones being attacked or called offensive things. And look at this fucking response to that. People should learn from Hank Aaron and Jackie Robinson. They were called all kinds of names, but they didn't complain about it, just smiled, went to work, and went home. It is insane to say we should just shut up, not—
Nigga, fuck you, nigga. I ain't smiling, going to work and doing shit, bitch. Fuck you. And fuck your racist family, nigga. Fuck you and your racist family, nigga. No cap. I don't give a fuck. I literally give no fucks. Like, not at all. I don't care. I don't care about appealing to these white racist bitches. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm not, like, no, bro. That should really be pissing me off, bro. How niggas be thinking niggas is gonna let that shit slide? Like, nigga, this shit is not slavery times, bro. Niggas not giving a fuck. We don't care.
be offended, not speak on a—
The shit only worked the first time, bro. That shit, bro. Oh my God, that nigga's finna get me started, bro.
racist incident that happened to black men and go on about our day, go to work and be happy. Jemele responded, they didn't have a choice, and you probably should read up on what Jackie Robinson had to say after he was done playing MLB. And I'm sure you would prefer if black people didn't hold anyone accountable for how they've been treated. The gaslighting, the fucking gaslighting.
Now here's where this gets complicated. Tourette's syndrome is a neurological condition. A small percentage of people with Tourette's experience something called coprolalia, which is involuntary vocalization of socially inappropriate words. Involuntary means not chosen, not intentional. But here's what people, especially Black and Brown communities, are asking. If the word is involuntary, why is that word in the vocabulary at all? Tourette's does not invent language. It removes the brain's filter. It does not create new words out of thin air. Research shows that coprolalia tends to latch onto words that are culturally taboo or emotionally charged. The more forbidden a word is in society, the more likely it is to become a tic in severe cases. That does not erase the impact. Because that word is not just profanity, it carries generations of violence and humiliation. So two things can be true at the same time. Tourette's is real, coprolalia is real, and hearing that slur directed at two Black men on a global stage is very harmful.
With this being a situation that's caused a lot of discourse, a lot of racism online, a lot of ableism online, of course, people with—
Bro, the person who told that nigga to say that shit, bro, they knew that shit. I don't know. I'm still, my theory is I feel like somebody was behind it, bro. Somebody told that nigga to say that, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Or at least they co-signed it by keeping it on the broadcast, bro. They kept it on there. They didn't edit it out. So they co-signed it either way. Either way, they wanted him to say that. Like, no cap. If you didn't want it to be seen, you would have edited it out, bro. So that's self-explanatory. They wanted him to say that.
The disability.
So the disability doesn't fucking matter because they didn't edit it out. So the people who don't have disabilities don't give a fuck. So they might as well have said it themselves. Y'all niggas is like, come on, speed it up, lock in. Come on, bro, I'm trying to show you.
From the Tourette syndrome community are speaking out about the situation.
I have been seeing a bunch of outrage about it, people saying, oh, well, why would that even be in his vocabulary? He did that on purpose and all of this stuff, and that racism is to excuse. A very bitch sad day for the Tourette syndrome community, especially for the ones that have coprolalia, because when you come online and you see thousands of people hating on your condition, specifically coprolalia, because that's something,
Bro, is she good, bro?
that is already very embarrassing for all of us. Not going to say that people can't be offended by the fact that somebody said the N-word as a tick. However, it's not something that somebody can control. It's not something that somebody wants to say. And I've been seeing a lot of people be like, well, he said it like when the crowd went silent. That is most likely when a tick is going to happen when you're in public, when you're in complete...
Bro, is she good, bro? I think, hey, bro, she on something. She got to be on something. Ain't no way, bro.
silence, or when you're trying not to say or do something. Is it a disappointing thing? Shut up! That it happened in public in front of that entire crowd, specifically to Michael B. Jordan.
Bro, is she good, bro? What the fuck?
And the other presenter, I'm so sorry, I do not know his name. I wish I did, but no disrespect to him. I just am not too aware. Yes, it is a very unfortunate situation. Seeing so many people say that they would invoke violence against people with coprolalia if they can't control their tics.
No, bro, you don't even have to do that, bro. If you're gonna do that, you might as well do it to the people who didn't edit it out the video. You know what I mean? You might as well fucking wipe out the whole BBC, nigga. The whole shit. The people who had the choice to edit it out and didn't, you might as well go and do violent shit towards them, bro, because they're just as guilty, to be honest.
That's ableism. The fucked up thing that this happens, yes, but it's something that we can't control. Michael B. Jordan and the other presenter have the right to be upset, especially if they were not aware. However, we need to understand and educate ourselves. And on my videos, I constantly see people saying, oh my god, so funny, if I had cursing tics, I would be laughing all the time. But when people actually have cursing tics, then it's offensive and they're a bad person and this and that, the third. We need to do better. We need to educate ourselves better. This is not me saying that people don't have the right to be offended. However, you can't be offended when a disabled person is disabled.
You can definitely respect her using her experience with Tourette's and speaking on the situation. But a lot of people took this video, especially toward the end, where she said we need...
Wait, does she have Tourette's? My opinion on BAFTAS situation as a black person with Tourette's. Okay, so that's what that is? It makes you do that? So why did she do this? So she was doing all of this. Okay. But she was able to like really she's smart. Like she can really talk. But she was doing all that. She flicked me off like 20 times. I can't lie to you. I'm just saying, like, damn. I never heard of Tourette's. This is my first time hearing about this shit. So it's like, it's kind of interesting, low key. So you can be like an intelligent being. She's smart as fuck. She's able to articulate herself and everything. But she can't control like her outbursts and shit, like how she do this and like all that shit. Damn. I don't know, bro. I feel like I don't care. The people who didn't edit it out, still guilty. Still guilty. Now that I understand what the disability is, I understand a little bit now, but still not defendable because it's a hard R, should have been edited out, didn't get edited out, so fuck whoever think he should be able to, I don't know, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. I feel like Michael B. Jordan and the other guy, they deserve apologies, bro. And also, no, they deserve apologies from the person who said it and the people who didn't edit the video out. And also, I don't know, bro. I feel like that nigga should be banned, even if he got Tourette's. I don't give a fuck. He should be banned. He should be banned for life because he can't control his actions. Why would you put black people in that position, bro? You gonna put somebody with Tourette's in the fucking audience who could possibly say the hard R out loud because he has Tourette's. So let's just let him go in there. He might say the hard R, but just let him go in there. Like, that don't make sense, bro. We should just like not let him go in any more like fucking events or anything like that, bro. He shouldn't be able to go anywhere. Anywhere with a black person on the stage type shit, you shouldn't be able to.
Understand it, and we need to do better. As her defending and justifying the racist statement that was made, the black girl with Tourette's didn't even attempt to Google Delroy's name before coming to defense for a white man. I know exactly what she is. She definitely could have Googled his name. And other racists.
Oh yeah, I was like low key. It was something odd about this. So she was defending him. I wasn't really paying attention, bro. I didn't hear anything she said. I'm gonna let y'all niggas know that. You caught me, bro. I was not paying attention. I'm not finna go back here and listen to it, but I'm just saying, like, I wasn't paying attention. I was more like, she was doing all this shit. All that shit was crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I was confused. Wasn't able to pay attention to what she was saying, but yeah.
Online then took this video and used it as a justification for them telling black people that we're not allowed to be offended by this situation. She posted this afterward because people are using her video to invalidate black people's feelings about this. Currently, I can't make a video as I am sick and in pain, but this needs to be addressed. People have begun to use my video on Twitter as a way to be racist, and this is absolutely unacceptable. I am not anti-black, nor do I or would I ever excuse racism.
Well, guess what? It's too late, bro. They already got the video and you're cooked. I ain't gonna lie. They already got the video, bro. This is good, I guess. A little bit, but it's not. You shouldn't have did that, bro. Come on, bro. You gave the racist something to use. That's crazy.
Even though she kind of did. I explained Tourette's and Corporelia in deep detail, which offended some people, but unfortunately at this point, people will be offended either way. I'm seeing people think that I meant that presenters Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo, and even the director Ryan Coogler don't deserve apologies. They absolutely do, and I've stated this multiple times. I think the apology should be private and not public. Why? That's a really weird specification to an apology. If an offense happens,
no, bro, it shouldn't be privated at all, my nigga. You should openly on the internet, like you said, that harder on the internet, you should go back on the internet and say, I am sorry for such and such. I will such and such, and I will make sure that I such and such. You know what I'm saying? That's literally all you got to do. Literally, bro. It's not hard. Excuse me. It's not hard, bro. It's not.
In public, an apology should be in public because a private apology doesn't address or erase.
Yeah, y'all trying to make it seem like the only people that were offended were the two people on stage. No, the hard R is not only addressed. No, like the hard R is not only targeted at Michael B. Jordan and the other guy on stage. It's not targeted against those two only black dudes, bro. It's against the whole fucking race. Come on, bro.
The embarrassment that those two black men faced on that stage. The whole situation was purposely publicized.
Yeah, they got their faces on it though. Yeah, that's the fucked up part. They need more of an apology for sure because their face was on it.
By BAFTA, and that's obvious by now. They clipped out Free Palestine, but not the tick. They 100% knew it would lead to discourse, and that's what's wrong. My intent was not to say that black people cannot be offended, because as stated in my videos, the community is more than valid. One of my biggest problems I have in this situation is the BBC could have edited it
out. That's the only fucking, like, literally. Okay, you got, we would have just let him, like, get the fuck about the little nigga in the back being racist and shit. We don't really care. But it got on the fucking, like, the live was able to hear it. And okay, it happened on live, but now it's published for everybody to see years and years and years and years later. What the fuck? Why is it not edited out? That's the only real issue here. Low key.
And it didn't. There's absolutely no excuse for that. If they could edit out the guy saying Free Palestine, then they could have edited out the racist BS.
Yep.
Too. They could have, but they didn't care, or they wanted more attention on their work.
They might as well have said it themselves, bro. That's what I'm
And they
saying.
were willing to use racism against black people to do just that. If your condition made you blurt out anti-Semitic slurs at national televised awards events, Keir Starmer, I think that's the UK Prime Minister, will be outside Downing Street issuing a public apology tomorrow morning. But when it's racism against black people, suddenly there's nuance. We must take pity, or we have to understand, or we're overreacting. Again, just like the whole Trump video of him posting the Obamas as apes. Suddenly there was a whole bunch of nuance and context that matter when it really doesn't matter when it's racism. And then more of the weird gaslighting. So a man invited to the BAFTAs as inspiration for...
Why does he need pity for like being racist? Like, that's weird. I don't get it. I don't give a fuck if you got a disability or not, bro. If you're walking around calling black people the hard R, I feel like the person who gets pity is the person being dehumanized by a word. I don't know.
Film demonstrating the horrific hostility and lack of understanding people with Tourette's face is now facing horrific hostility and a lack of understanding over his Tourette's. Have I got that right? They just want to excuse racism so bad. Two things can be true. He could have Tourette's and he could have said something really offensive to a whole community of people that they want acknowledged and apologized for. You cannot gaslight me into thinking we're wrong for being offended.
BAFTA finally issues an apology unreservedly. So it's much more than if you were offended. They acknowledge the harm this caused, they talk about what happened, and they apologize to all.
BAFTA apologizes unreservedly to Michael B. Jordan, Delroy
Yeah,
Lindo.
nigga, I don't give a fuck, nigga. Fuck your apology, nigga. Unedit that shit. Edit it. Edit that shit, bro. Like, no cap. Edit that shit out the video. Then we're good. Call it truce. Call it whatever you want to call it. Still don't fuck with y'all niggas, but I accept the apology. You edit it out. We good. But if you don't do that, bro, fuck you, bro. Well, it's fuck you either way. Low key. Because I know y'all racist, bro. If y'all wasn't racist, then you wouldn't have let it in. You wouldn't have let it stay in the video.
Want to acknowledge the harm this caused. The British Academy thanks arrest campaigner John Davison for his dignity and consideration of others after choosing to leave the film awards halfway through. They should have 100% gotten this apology when it happened. Early in the ceremony, a loud tick of a profoundly offensive term was heard by many in the room. Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage at the time, and we apologize unreservedly to them and to all those impacted. We would like to thank Michael and Delroy for their incredible dignity and professionalism. We take full responsibility for putting our guests in a very difficult situation, and we apologize to all. We will.
That's good. That's good right there. I ain't gonna lie. That makes the situation a lot better. Full responsibility for a very difficult situation. Okay.
Learn from this and keep inclusion at the core of all we do, maintaining our belief in film and storytelling as a critical conduit for compassion and empathy. I don't see them acknowledging anywhere that they messed up or made a mistake by not editing out the slur.
Yeah, see, that's some bullshit.
First place.
John Davidson also then released a statement. I wanted to thank BAFTA and everyone involved in the awards last night for their support and understanding and inviting me to attend the broadcast. I appreciated the announcement to the auditorium in advance of the recording, warning everyone that my tics are involuntary and are not a reflection of my personal beliefs. I was heartened by the round of applause that followed this announcement and felt welcomed and understood in an environment that would normally be impossible.
They're not a representation of my personal beliefs. I don't have any experience with this disability, bro. So don't expect me to like sympathize and like feel bad for this nigga, bro. I'm sorry. I have no experience. Like, how do you feel bad for something that you don't, like, you have no experience with? Like, you're not familiar with it. So how the fuck do you feel bad for it? It's like a regular person comes up to you and calls you the hard R, and you've never heard of the disability before. Like, they're like, oh, he's disabled, bro. He didn't mean it. Nah, bro, I don't know how to feel about that.
For me. In addition to the announcement by Alan Cumming, the BBC, and BAFTA, I can only add that I am and always have been deeply mortified if anyone considers my involuntary tics to be intentional or to carry any meaning. I was in attendance to celebrate the film of my life, I Swear, which more than any film or TV documentary explains the origins, condition, traits, and manifestations of Tourette syndrome.
I was in attendance to celebrate the film of my life, I Swear. Which more than any film or document or TV documentary?
I have spent my life trying to support and empower the Tourette's community and to teach empathy, kindness, and understanding from others, and I will continue to do so. I chose to leave the auditorium early into the ceremony as I was aware of the distress my tics were causing.
That was a full statement. All of that is well and good. Everything he said is understandable. But where's...
Man. He said, what? As I was aware. Okay. If he would have said once I was aware, if he would have said once, I would have been like, ah, fuck no, nigga. But he said, as I was aware. I don't know. That's more believable. I don't want to believe this nigga. Low key. Low key don't want to believe him. Oh, man, this is annoying.
The apology.
So, like, how did he learn the word in the first place? Obviously through, like, experience and shit. He's white. He probably got a lot of white friends or family who's racist. Learned about the word, what it means, why you shouldn't say it around black people. And it just made his tics worse. Like, that's one of his tics now. Probably, I don't know.
For the two black men that were called the N-word by your tick. If he didn't mean to do it, if it was 100% out of his control, unintentional, you can still apologize for offending people, even if you didn't mean to. People apologize.
Nah, nigga, tell us who told you to say it, nigga. Come on, man, just tell us. Let us know, snitch on that nigga. That gotta be a tick too, right? Nah, interview this nigga, bro. Interview him, bro. He needs to be interviewed. He gonna say all this shit. Like, he gonna snitch on himself. Whoever was it. Nah, I'll just play it.
For offending people all the time when they don't mean to.
I was diagnosed with epilepsy. It's a neurological disorder that makes me have convulsions, and I have grand mal seizures, meaning the big ones. Like, I have to be hospitalized afterwards. I'm driving my car, and I have an episode. I have a grand mal seizure, and in the...
Why the fuck are you driving? What the fuck is you driving for? If this can happen at any time, there's no like schedules on this shit. Then why the fuck are you driving? You should have a driver at least. Somebody to drive you around, something, man. I ain't gonna lie, that's too much. That's too much. I don't know, bro. You need a driver, bro. That's dangerous for you and the people around you.
course of me having said seizure, I hit another car, I hit another person.
Why the fuck were you driving? How did you even get a driver license with the disability that you got? That's crazy, bro.
I do damage to something or something. Didn't intend to have the seizure, didn't intend to damage anything or anyone, but yet and still, the damage occurred. The harm occurred. And no one...
And you still probably have to pay for the consequences of driving.
...is asking me to apologize for having epilepsy. That's weird, to ask someone to apologize for an ailment they can't control. But they...
You can control getting in the car and driving, though. I can't lie. You can. You can. You can control driving, bro. Like, I don't know what your situation is, why you gotta drive. You gotta get to work. Some shit like that. But it ain't worth it. It's not worth your life. And it's not worth other people's, like, innocent people who don't have anything to do with what's going on with you. It's not worth their lives either. You know what I'm saying? So you should take it upon yourself to be responsible and get somebody to take you to work or wherever you need to go. You feel me? I understand, bro. I understand. You look decent. You can get a man. I'm pretty sure you don't got a man. You don't got a... You know what I'm saying? You look decent.
Would be the expectation.
You know, you see, like, she shouldn't have any problem getting a husband or something to, like, help her out. You got no brothers, siblings, or something. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of other things you could have did other than getting in the car and driving, bro. That's all I'm saying.
That I could acknowledge the impact that I had on someone. See how that works? So what I don't understand is, no one is asking this man to apologize for having Tourette's. But why is it wild to have the expectation for him to apologize for the impact these two men experienced?
But no direct apology.
That's facts, though. This can be... Okay, I see what she's doing here. The same way she's responsible for getting in the car in the first place, he's responsible for being in the room in the first place while the cameras are live and two black people are on the stage. What I was just trying to say. Why the fuck is he in the room? If it's like if it's dangerous for this nigga to be, I don't know how to explain this shit. If he's not able to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up when a black person is up there on the stage and not say the hard R, then get the fuck out. Like, why is he here? Why are you there? Like, are you not self-aware? You're a grown-ass man. He's old as shit. He's able to type a fucking paragraph like this without misspelling a word. So you should have the common sense to just like, let me get out this room because I know how I get. Now, if I see a black person, I'm accidentally say the hard R. So let me get out. That's literally what you could have did. He could have apologized for that too. Yeah, I'm aware. I should have got out the room. Now, if this happens again, well, come on, bro.
To the two black men that had to deal with that were embarrassed on stage in front of their peers because of that tick. That's
and then they still didn't edit it out. So it's like, bro,
kind of crazy to me.
Clearly, this is a very hot topic. It's very complicated, and some commenters were saying
it's not complicated at all. And I'm 19. You are all grown ass people. How? He knows. This is a grown ass man. He knows, bro. If I see a black man on the stage, I'm gonna yell out the hard R. So get the fuck out, so they can do their shit real quick. Cause that's not what I actually feel, right? You're not actually racist. You care about everybody, so I don't want to mess up their big moment and their you know what I'm saying, their reward shit. So I'm gonna go in the other room real quick, wait for them to get off stage, and then boom. It's so weird. That's so weird. And you can't cover your mouth. You can't do that. I don't know about the disability. Maybe the disability doesn't allow you to cover your mouth before you say the shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know, bro. I have no idea, bro. Nigga needs some mouth tape or something, nigga. I don't know. But there's a lot of other situations. There's never something that you can't do about a situation. Like, there's always a solution to the problem. That's what I'm trying to say. Nigga, he could have wore some mouth tape. My nigga took the mouth tape off when it's time for him to go on the stage and get his reward or some shit. You feel me? I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. I literally don't get this shit. Everybody is like making this a bigger situation than it has to be. This wouldn't have never happened if the nigga really wasn't racist. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he has the common sense to go in another room, bro. Shit's
that
crazy.
We should all have more empathy for John, imagine what he's feeling, which I completely agree with. Also imagine what Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo, Hannah Beachler, and many, many others were also feeling. Empathy goes both ways. And although Tourette's takes away the bad intent of the words, it doesn't just magically erase the harm of hearing that word out loud.
All facts. It's just so many things with this situation. It was shocking enough and bad enough that N-word with a hard R was yelled at Michael B. Jordan, Delroy Lindo while they were on stage.
At the same time, you can't say that shit on the internet. So like for him, like you don't even have to be like not a racist. Even if you're not a racist, you know what is TOS and what's not TOS, right? You said you played in a movie, bro. This is a grown-ass man. There's no way he lived 80 years plus, 70, 60 years plus, and you don't know that you ain't supposed to say a hard R on TV, bro. There is no fucking way. There is no fucking way that you was not able to just go in the fucking other room. Like, you can't leave the room. Oh my God. If he can't control it, I would imagine that this is what happens when he sees a black person. He just says it. As soon as you see a black person, all you gotta do is do this, my nigga. Do this. I don't know, nigga. Try. Put some effort into that shit, nigga. It's not Oh,
They
man.
deserved a real, genuine apology from whoever represented BAFTA right after they left the stage that they did not get. And then to add insult to injury to them, that moment was actually aired without being edited out when they edited other things out that they deemed offensive to people.
Bro, why my
Just
shit on
speaks volumes
70,
for how they
bro,
really see the black community. Because either they didn't find it that...
Bro, my shit on 720. That's crazy. Nigga, I can go 4K with this shit. Let's see what it look like real quick. Let's see what it look like. Yeah, don't really look too different.
That offensive, or they didn't care if the black community was offended.
You can see like
the
by his mouth
BAFTAs
moving,
intentionally left this moment.
like you can actually traces every image, my nigga. That's fire. If it ain't 4K, throw it away.
On air. Once again, when black people are telling you the intentionality behind racism, the subtleties behind racism, and just how we experience racism, the BAFTAs intentionally left this in.
1440p good enough though. Like, don't even get me wrong. 1440p that's the shit. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm done with this video. Like, low key, I'm ready to move on with my life. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. Nah, it's not an enjoyable video. It's like some like weird shit. So let me know what you think about this shit in the comments, man. Is this shit like some weird? Could he have like gone in the other room? Like, what do you think about that shit, bro? Let me know. I love y'all boys. See y'all next video. And I don't know, man. Yo.